What's going on, y'all's P Films? Man, on today's news, we have Fivio, Foreign, Big Trip, and DJ Vlad. Fivio puts out a trailer for a song, which is pretty fire, by the way, and at the end of that trailer, he disses somebody. Who does he diss? Vlad TV. Let me play that for y'all.
I was doing what I had to do. I answer when I want. I don't give a fuck about your attitude. And if you ever helped me when I needed, I show gratitude. So if you wasn't helping me, don't ever think I'm mad at you. Nigga ain't no jumping in this game without no parachute. See that boy, I keep you in my heart. That's why I tatted you. When I'm out in Cali, just relaxing, I do Malibu. If I think you fucking up, I'll look and I'll stop tagging. I did one Vlad interview, he tried to do me bad, so I ain't never do his interview again.
The minute I seen that, I automatically knew exactly why he was dissing Vlad TV. But it seems like Vlad was just a little bit confused as to why he was being dissed. Not only did Fivio put out the trailer dissing Vlad, I go to his Twitter account, well, they call it X now, and he says, man, F Vlad TV, y'all be tripping. Vlad's response, why is Fivio Fall Off dissing me? That's crazy, Fivio Fall Off. Not only did Vlad respond by saying that, he also responded by saying, yo Fivio, instead of getting mad at me, get mad at yourself for your last project going triple cardboard. That was just an EP earlier this year with like about 6 songs. And I'm looking at the plays. The top play is about 142,000 plays. The rest got like 20,000, 50,000, 42,000, 81,000, 18,000. So that's what Vlad is referring to. Now, for the people that might be confused as to why Fivio might be dissing him, back in 2020, Fivio does an interview with Vlad TV. Great interview. Vlad asked Fivio, how old were you? There was a certain situation that occurred. It was 2020. Vlad asked Fivio, how old were you in 2016 when the situation occurred?
Okay, like how old were you at the time?
How old was I? What year is this now? 2020? It's not 4 years ago?
2016.
I was 4 years ago.
No, 2000.
Now it's 2020, right?
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
I need y'all to tell me, somebody comment, what age is I was 4 years ago? Whoever knows, let me know. And it's no hate to Fivio. I love Fivio's music. I genuinely love his music. But I felt like he was trying so hard not to disclose his age that he ended up sounding a little crazy. And I think his response should have just been, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to tell nobody my age right now. That would have been much better than the way he looked. And he seemed very confused, very uncomfortable. We knew he was lying. It just seemed a little bit crazy. And he did like start cutting off Vlad and kind of fixed it up. But we all was like, alright, this sounds crazy. And Vlad kind of just moved on to the next question. I don't think that was Vlad's fault, but clearly Fivio does. Now, this happened in 2020. So my thing is, why are you dissing him in 2025, 5 years later? You know, it almost seems as if, and this is no disrespect to Fivio, but it almost seems as if he dissed Kai Cenat. Well, he didn't really diss Kai Cenat. He kind of was like, why didn't Kai Cenat put him on a Mafia-thon and all that? And that went viral. So I feel like he kind of took the same approach with this song. Dissing Vlad TV is kind of in the same lane. I diss the streamer, now let me diss a journalist. You know, obviously with Vlad, he seems a little bit more angry with him. I don't know why. Because I feel like that man asked you a question. You could have just said, I choose to not disclose. So that brings another conversation up. Why do people always get mad at the journalist? Me being a journalist, I want to know, is it the person's fault for asking the question that the people want to know? Or is it the person who's responding, answering the question? I ask people, if y'all feel like when people be like, yo, Vlad is asking federal questions, Vlad is making all these people answer these questions, how is he making anyone answer questions? If you feel like there's a question that is gonna either get you locked up, make you look stupid, make you look uncomfortable, or it's something that is simply way too private that you don't want to disclose with the public, I think you just simply say, next question. That's it. Very simple. And then everybody calls Vlad a Fed and all of this. It's just like, all right, bro. We don't want to hear that, bro. It's like, if Vlad is the Feds because he's doing interviews with people, he's sitting down with y'all, asking y'all questions, and y'all answering the question. Y'all feel so compelled to answer these questions. Shouldn't y'all be concerned with these people who's answering these questions? Because if they would answer a journalist, what the hell you think they're going to do in an interrogation room? That's my thing. If they don't know how to swindle a journalist, if they don't know how to just stay quiet to a journalist, what do you think they're going to do when they get charged with a crime and they're in an interrogation room? But y'all upset with the journalist? I don't know. But yeah, with Fivio, I don't see why he should be upset with him. I think Vlad asked a very harmless question and he didn't even realize, he didn't even know. It almost seemed so unintentional. He was just asking like, yo, how old were you when this happened? You know, because Fivio was disclosing something about going through a rough time. And he was like, you know how Vlad asked about people's history, how, at what age did you start going through these tough times? It just so happened Fivio didn't want to disclose his age and he started to stumble a little bit. I don't blame Fivio for stumbling neither. This is like your first big major interview on a very big platform. It could be nerve-wracking. You feel me? So I don't blame Fivio, but I feel like he should give Vlad some grace. And then I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like you're dissing him only because you want his attention. You want to stir up something to start dropping music. You understand that the more you either spell words wrong or diss streamers, diss journalists, or whatever the case may be, you're gonna get a certain amount of attention or whatever the case may be. And this is no knock to Fivio. It's just what it seems like. It seems like it's just a move to kind of be talked about, which we're doing. I'm going to talk about it. So it's working. But that's what it seems like. I don't see a reason to say F Vlad, unless if maybe something happened behind closed doors that we don't know about. I will say this. Initially, when that interview came out, it was titled something else. And then when Vlad did a flashback of it, he calls it Fivio Foreign tries to hide his age when Vlad asked how old he was in 2016. So could it be that? Maybe that's the reason. If you're intentionally trying to clown Fivio, then yes, I can understand why Fivio would diss him. But if it was just an honest mistake, which not even a mistake, it was just an honest question, it was just so unintentional, then no, I don't agree with that, bro. Like, what? You're dissing Vlad and F Vlad, bro. It just comes off like you just either want an interview, you want to be talked about, you want your name in the algorithm, you want people to discuss it because you kind of seen what happened when you had your opinions on streamers, and then when you mentioned Kai Cenat in your song. That's what it seems like. And Vlad's response was, you feel me? Now you gotta respond to that. But that's just my opinion. I don't see a reason why he should have dissed him. And I ask all of you guys this question, all ladies and gentlemen, like, is it the journalist's fault for asking a question and you answering it? Who's responsible? You know, at the end of the day, I get it. There's certain questions that's too far. You feel me? Certain questions are just 100% too far. And then there's times where that interviewee has to be held accountable for what they're saying as well. You're not going to get me to say too much. I'm the journalist, and no one's going to make me say something I don't want to say. I'm just going to be like, I don't really want to talk about that right now. Or, this is not my place to disclose this. Or, I'm not ready to share that with the world. That's it. Next question. Why does everybody feel like just because you're asked a question, you have to respond? No, you don't. So we need to put a little bit more blame on the interviewee. There needs to be a little bit more accountability by the interviewee. Yes, journalists have a responsibility to stay away from certain topics. However, if the fans are asking, if the subscribers are asking, if the followers are asking for a specific question to be asked, it's our job to ask it. But it's also your prerogative if you want to answer it or not. I hate when people be like, yo, don't ask me this. No, don't come here then. Let me do my job, which is ask you. And then you could respectfully say, you know, P Films, my bad. I don't feel like talking about that. I would respect that. The people see that I'm doing my job. And then the people see you chose to not answer the question. Now, if I don't ask at all, now the people's like, yo, P Films, why you didn't ask this question? Why? You're not doing your job correctly. Man, go to somewhere else, man. This guy's not going to ask him the things we want to know. You're not doing your job correctly. But if I'm asking and you just decide on camera you don't want to answer it, that's another story. Now it's on you. I did my job. But listen, if anybody says, hey, I don't want to talk about this or I don't want to talk about that, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to dub the interview. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say I don't want to do the interview. However, if there's like about 10 things and you just don't want to talk about one, we can work something out. I'm not going to sit here and say I won't do the interview at all. But I once had an artist, I'm not going to name the name, I gave them a list and they didn't want to talk about maybe of 20 things. They probably didn't want to talk about 17. Don't come here. Matter of fact, don't do an interview. How can you decide to do an interview but also say I don't want to speak about this? Why you doing the interview then? Nobody wants to constantly hear, oh, what motivated you to do music? Oh, like, yo, bro, we want to know the real situations. You guys are very transparent in your music, but then come on an interview and say, yo, I can't say too much. You already said it in the music. Now elaborate. Clearly, this just gets me a little passionate. I normally don't get this riled up, but this topic specifically right here gets me a little riled up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. Like I always say, if you ain't tapping in, you tapping out. Let's get it.